Just like the Aramis Gasparini super match, this Devon Larratt versus Denis Cyplenkov super match is happening way too late and yet way too early, way earlier than we expected. Because Devon was asking for this match for more than a decade, but still, we wouldn't have expected that this super match is going to happen in 2023. We're glad we're going to see this, but this Dennis versus Devon situation, the story is taking new turns every single day. So, what's the latest situation right now? As we all know, we have seen that Dennis has told all of us, including Devon Larratt, multiple times that he does not like Devon taking any super match, or anyone else for that matter taking any super match before their scheduled super match. What if Devon gets injured? Or what if he gets demotivated like he did after losing to Gennady, when he said that he doesn't want Dennis to face a loser of a super match in himself? That's why he postponed that match to the next year. But fortunately, this match is still happening this year. We are kind of in a lucky situation that that match is happening. Thanks to Engin Jersey. Thanks for the heavy cash that he's paying these athletes. That is absolutely awesome. We all love that. Thanks, all of you, once again for joining, for being patient. This live stream got cancelled like a couple of times due to technical breakdowns. Nothing that I can or could have managed myself. So, Devlet versus Dennis, the new turn and twist to this story is that despite all of those things that we just discussed from Denis Cyplenkov, Devon has once again challenged another opponent. And this time the opponent is Kydyrgali Ongarbaev. Four matches are already scheduled for King of the Table 8, which is on September 23rd. The first one being a match between Lachlan Adair and Krasi. That's probably the second or third match. Before that, the first match is Matevarangi Heta Morris versus the Norwegian, I think he's, or from Finland, Lars Rorbakken. You guys know that flop press guy, the famous John Brzezinski match, or the famous Matt Mask match, Richard Lupkis match. You must know Lars Rorbakken very well. He has only one move. That one move is really strong. He beat Matt Mask with that. John had to wait patiently for almost a minute to beat Lars. So he used to be that strong. Right now, he's way leaner than what he used to be. He's absolutely shredded. Probably like 7%, 8% body fat. He's that lean. He's going to face Matevarangi Heta Morris. Then after that, we have Matt Mask versus the legend from USA, Ron Bath, and John Brzezinski versus Alexei Vovoda is the main event, as we all know. Before that, the match that we just discussed, Lachlan versus Krasimir Kostadinov is also going to happen. So there is a spot left for one more match. Is that match going to happen? Are we going to see Devon Led versus Ongarbaev at King of the Table 8? Is that match already confirmed? And these guys are just, not these guys, Devon to be specific, Devon is just playing with all of us. Somebody mentioned in the comments that Engin did talk about early on about the possibility of the title changing hands even at King of the Table. So since these two organizations are working in conjunction with each other, and that's why there is a possibility that if Ongarbaev loses to Devon at East versus West at King of the Table as well, then also he may be subject to losing his East versus West 105 kg title. I discussed another possibility that maybe Devon Larratt is not so sure if he can beat Denis Cyplenkov or not. In that case, if he loses to Denis on November 11th, and after that he has the Ongarbaev match as already promised by Engin Jersey, then that super match wouldn't have that much value. It wouldn't mean that much because that would still be Devon's second title. It will be his third title at East versus West, but consecutively he's going to hold only a couple of titles. That could be one of the reasons why Devon wants this match so early. He cannot even wait till the Denis Cyplenkov match. He would have easily gotten that match in January. And cutting 30 pounds in less than 20 days, that may be challenging for even Devon Larratt, who says that weight cut is such an easy job for him. So let's try to read some of the comments now. Knox has joined, who's a member of the channel as well. I'll be doing a workout and uncensored talk live stream in about 8 9 8 hours from now, so please join for that one as well. Which weight class Devon and Dennis pulling at? So super heavyweight, that is a super heavyweight weight class, but Devon did mention that he's going to show up at 260 to 265 pounds. He has given up on that dream of being 300 pounds. He doesn't see that much benefit in being massive once again. 265-pound Devon being the number one arm wrestler in the world. That's almost the same weight at which he went against Denis in 2018. He was around 255 back then, and now he's just 10 pounds heavier. That's just insane. Super heavyweight. You're back, Hermes Pederini. Gagan has also joined. Family guy, yes, but Ongarbaev is very technically skilled, and the thought of pulling him interests Devon. I don't think, brother, just like many others, that Ongarbaev has anything for Devon Larratt at all. So Ongarbaev, although he seems at the top of the 105 kg weight class as of now, Dadikian may have something to say about that, because Dadikian beat Irakli way easier than Ongarbaev did, even easier than Todd Hutchings did. Todd Hutchings also, but yeah, I think Todd's win was also kind of easy, but that match was more than a year ago. So Irakli may have improved since then. Todd may have also improved, but maybe not as much as Irakli did. Pradeep, do you know about the Devon versus Georgi match? Unfortunately, no, brother. They are going to keep this a secret. I think Engin Terzi may be one of the only guys who knows the result of this match. Do you think Hermes match was scripted just to make Denis and Devon match bigger? No, 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 no. Hermes match was already so huge, as big as the Denis match. How heavy is Denis right now? At most 125. My guess would be a little bit less than that. If 115 kg guys had no chance, at 105 kg guy has zero chance. Devon will win 115 even by match day. He's already said, okay. Ongarbaev is going to have absolutely no shot. I think Dadikian may also be able to pin Ongarbaev at least, if not beat him, judging by that Irakli Zirakashvili match, because Dadikian's hand looked solid, his arm looked solid. Michael Todd pinned Ongarbaev, and John Brzezinski pinned Ongarbaev. Yes, Ongarbaev is great, but he's not untouchable in his own weight category by any means. He has not won any WAF title on his right arm. Let that sink in. He won one left, I think, 2021, and this time he didn't even finish on the podium on the left as well. So Ongarbaev can definitely be defeated. I think maybe someone else can also defeat him other than Devon as well. Maybe Dadikian takes the title before Devon gets a shot against him. I would still watch that match even if Devon is a heavy favorite. Your exact prediction on Devon versus Dennis on November 11th. Exact prediction, you'll have to probably watch another video for that. I'll have to think more about that match. I started off with Devon as a huge favorite, like a 90-10 favorite. Now I'm slowly down to like 70-30 Devon. Do you think someone can dominate in 70 kg category completely natural without doping, at least in PPL? In PPL, yeah, definitely it's possible. 100% it's possible. This just gives annoying fanboys an excuse. If Devon loses to Dennis, so he would have won if he had to cut weight a month before. Yeah. So it's in September 23rd, then October next month. Yeah, exactly a month. Mention matches, Devon is fighting from December 2022 to 2023. That's an interesting question. Let's try to remember. Only the right arm matches or the left arm matches as well. Let's see if Gold's arm has that or not. So Denis Cyplenkov is for sure. I'm not sure if that information has reached Denis till now or not, but he's for sure going to be mad once he hears that Devon wants that Ongarbaev match before him. He's already mentioned it a couple of times. He does not like that at all. Devon Barrett. So Devon Larratt defeated Hermes Gasparini. That was on 26th of August. Before that, he defeated Sergei Kalinishenko. That was on 12th of August in Canada. Exhibition match, Matt Mask Revenge. Before that, Devon Larratt defeated Dave Chaffee on June 24th. That was at King of the Table 7. And the Sergey match was at AWC Fight Night 2. And before that, June 10th against Jordan Sonev, B Strong Arm Wrestling, left arm super match. Devon won 4 pins to 0. Before that, Arm Wars Dark Card, May 20th, Devon Larratt versus Mindaugas Tulskas, 6-0, I think it was. On the same day, Devon Larratt versus Daniel. That was also 6-0, May 20th. Before that, East versus West 7, Gennady Quickvinia versus Devon Larratt. Devon lost 3 pins to 2 in an absolute war, one of the best matches ever. Before that, Arm Wars Dark Card, February 4th, Sandres Sedis. That was 4-0 in favor of Devon, or 6-0, whatever that was. And left match was 4-2 in favor of Devon on the same day, February 4th. Before that, Evgeny Prudnik on November 19th, then Levan Saginashvili, John Brezink, Michael Todd, Wagner Bortolato. So there you have it. We've discussed all of the matches that Devon Larratt had. How good is Ongarbaev's left arm in comparison to his right? I think it can be close. His right may be stronger, but it's definitely close because that's his only arm where he has won a WAF tournament. So that must mean something. Ongarbaev is an easy win for Devon. I do agree with that. It's strange how Bacho loses against hook pullers and flash pins world level top rollers without straps. Yeah, that's interesting as well. People were saying that he doesn't have that weakness on his right. Will be interesting to see. Family Guy, when will Levan pull left? Will Dennis ever defend his legacy hammer? That's bad thing. Like Dennis has kind of, as in Hindi, we say Kundali Marna. If any Indian here can translate Kundali Marna into English, so he's just sitting on that thing and he's not willing to let go of it. That's not cool. That's not cool. That's not the purpose explained by Devon when he handed over that hammer to Denis Cyplenkov. If Devon wanted, he could have not given Dennis that hammer despite losing that super match. So I think the current hammer holder should have some obligations to listen to the previous hammer holder or the originator of this idea, which is Devon Larratt in this case. Bacho's main strength is his hand, so no surprise here. Right-handed, his inside game is good. Okay. Bacho having high temperature from flu while pulling left. Yeah. Devon can't have Hermes Soul when Levan already took it. It's all right. So, guys, Dennis versus Devon and Kydyrgali Ongarbaev. Let's create a poll. Do you guys think that Devon versus Ongarbaev is happening at King of the Table or not? Is Devon versus Ongarbaev happening at KOTT? Levan took his power, Devon took his soul. If Gennady was not injured, would you rank Gennady above Devon? It's a difficult question. If you watched the latest Q&A video, that was one question where I refused to answer because I don't have enough capabilities or enough data as of now to answer these ranking questions. I'm not sure. Gennady has lost to Hermes, so that has to count. But Gennady has defeated Devon, so that also has to count. Devon is more frequent on the arm wrestling table. So that must also mean something. Kennedy got pinned a couple of times by Dave Chaffee as well. Devon destroyed Dave, although it was a different Dave Chaffee. So too many things to look forward to while making this decision. But I think if we give certain percentage to all of those matches, Devon may be ranked ahead of Kennedy in my opinion as well. Pradeep, my dear, when will we see you at East versus West? Maybe next year. I don't know. What is your prediction, Dennis versus Devon? As of now, I think Devon about 70% favorite in my opinion until Devon beats him. What if Gennady beats Devon in a rematch but loses to Hermes? How can you make rankings when it is a triangle? Yeah, that's interesting. Then Gennady should be ranked above Devon. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Yeah, that's why we need that point based ranking system that can clear all things up. Point based ranking system is a must. Pradeep, if Gennady beats Devon and Devon beats Hermes, yeah. Does Gennady go above Hermes in the rankings? I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know. The only answer is a point based ranking system. You forgot Ryan SP. Yeah, Ryan SP. Yeah, we only discussed super matches. That was Clint PMK. That was not a super match. Maybe that's why it was not listed there. Have to rank Gennady higher or no? No idea. Difficult question. Would Dennis pull out maybe if Devon versus Ongarbaev happens? If I were Dennis, I would threaten that. I wouldn't do that, but I'll almost make it look like or make it seem to Devon in private conversations, maybe not in public conversations, or maybe even public. I'm not thought about that in detail yet, but I'll threaten Devon to cancel that super match if Devon is taking way too many super matches before that. That's what I will do if that bothered me. But it wouldn't bother me personally speaking. Bacho's main strength, yeah, I think I've read almost everything. Yeah. Is there a site that has record of all of the matches? Yeah, golds are. The one who beats the champ should be number one. The end. With that way, with this logic, we will have to keep on changing the rankings every single month. There will be a total mess in the rankings, a complete mess in the rankings every single month. So that's why I don't agree with this rankings, because it can never be stable. I'm not saying that it should remain kind of stagnant, it should never change. But if rankings are changing every single week, then I don't think there is any point in watching those rankings. Like champions do not change every single week or even every single month. But under that ranking system, they will, because the styles make matches. Yes, that's then the solution to that is arm wrestle as many matches as you can. The styles makes matches knocks. That's the only reason why that ranking system doesn't work, because let's say Hermes may be able to somehow stop Levan once again and he may be able to beat Levan, but let's say Devon isn't able to beat Levan, then Hermes, despite losing badly to Devon, may still be number one in the world if he beats Levan in that rematch. I agree it should be point based. Do you think you, because in this ranking system you just have to wait. You just have to wait until the guy who has a difficult stylistic match against you is on the top, and then you may lose to everyone else, but you just need to beat that one guy. I'll see Denis Cyplenkov versus Devon Larratt. Yeah, I'll also see that. Dennis or Hermes, what do you think? So I read a comment and I've just recorded a video about that as well, which I will upload in probably 3 hours from now. Tell me, some of the Russian guys, is there any Russian in the chat? Please give me a thumbs up, or anyone who can understand Russian. So that comment was under Engin Terzi's video, and this person was saying that as a fluent English and Russian speaker, I would like to say Babkan often translates poorly or does an entirely incorrect translation to Denis. He also adds his own spin to the translations for Denis. This is at least partially the reason the beef has escalated. So, what do you guys have to think about that? The first time I saw this was in an interview where Engin Terzi was interviewing Denis and Morozov, and Babkin was sitting in the middle, and Babkin was getting offended on Denis Cyplenkov's behalf. That happens a lot in today's world. That's one of the things that I hate the most, is people getting offended on someone else's behalf. You may think that I have also done something like that in the past, like that Uncle John's javelin move. I created an issue out of that. But if you really heard what I said, I never targeted Uncle John for any of that. My only issue was that change the rule, make a rule against that. Forget about what happened in the past. Make a rule against that. There has to be a rule against that. And fortunately, after that, there was a rule against that. Although Neil didn't want to give me any credit, Neil was like, well, we already wanted to have such a rule. Why didn't you have it? Why did you wait? Because that move happened. That move happened months ago, because that match was premiered like at least 3 4 months afterwards. And if you wanted to have that rule, Neil, you would have already had that rule. You waited till the video came out. You waited till I made 3 4 videos about that. Then the arm wrestling community started talking about that. You and Arm Wars and Uncle John received a lot of backlash. Then the rule was changed, and then they say like, well, we already wanted to create that rule. Pradeep has nothing to do about that. Okay, I don't want any credit for that, but at least the rule changed. The Uncle John rule. It should be the Pradeep rule. Bob can barely speaks Russian, let alone English. Feel like good translators in English. Once again, I've mentioned this thing in the video. No matter how skillful you are, no matter how knowledgeable about arm wrestling you are, doesn't matter the level of proficiency that you have, that you command in both of the languages that you are using for that translation, you still couldn't translate well without preparing notes. If you guys are speaking something like, let's say I'm translating Knox, he's saying something in English, I'm translating that in Hindi, then I must write bullet points as he's speaking. I must prepare notes. So okay, he spoke, because sometimes arm wrestlers speak for like 2 3 minutes. How are you going to translate that? Doesn't matter how talented you are, it is impossible. And I do agree, nobody is paying nothing to these translators. That's why they don't have an incentive to be professional. When arm wrestling is big enough, the first thing that I would love to see is that these translators getting paid. We can already do that. I offered this to Basil coach from Dubai. He does, I think he does good translations, and he's the only one. He's the only one. When I was discussing that, he showed me my notes. I was saying, bro, I don't know why translators don't prepare notes. It is impossible to translate without having notes. And he immediately showed me his notes. So that's the only guy who's preparing notes live, writing bullet points, writing the points that he wants to translate. That is a must. So I told him that he can interview some of the Ukrainian or Russian speaking arm wrestlers on my channel. Like, he can record an interview, give the subtitles, upload it on my channel, and he can take 100% of the revenue that video makes, or he can share 50% with the person who is being interviewed. I think that was a fair offer, but he didn't what. Any of you Russian speaking guys, if you are fluent in Russian, you don't even need to know English. You should know it enough only to translate into English. You don't need to speak English live. And if you have some connections that you can arrange these interviews, 100% of the revenue I can share with you, or 50-50 with the arm wrestler and you guys, for those interviews that are only in Russian but just have the subtitles. Pablo was making notes too. Okay, then that's interesting. Then he must be doing a good job. It's not difficult. Once you start making notes, it's not difficult, and people wouldn't have that many problems. Yeah, Solarun also mentioned that, and Andre also mentioned that, so that must be true. A couple of guys are saying your top 5 arm wrestlers. No, too difficult for me to answer. I don't really care about the beef. Devon seems the only way offended, only one offended. Okay. Yeah, Devon once again started talking about Denis Cyplenkov's health issues. Babkin cleared it the last time that Denis doesn't like that, or maybe just Babkin didn't like that and he was projecting his own opinions. Do you think Denis cycles could hurt himself on the preparation for Devon? Even Devon himself said that in his latest videos that Denis could sacrifice himself. Yeah, that's what we were talking about. I don't think so. And Babkan does that stuff. Yeah, he gives his own feelings. Sometimes when you're good friends with someone, yeah, sometimes you can guess what he's about to say, but there is still a possibility for making some errors. And Babkan is like, sometimes you don't even translate the topic to Dennis and starts answering by himself. I was totally shocked to see that. That was ridiculous. Reno beats Ali Jan in WAF. Right arm, I think. Yeah, it was. Did he beat him? Yeah, I think they went back and forth. Yeah, gotta trust your translator. That word, Volgan. Okay, I don't know what you're speaking, bro. I think Dennis will be careful this time about his cycles. Yeah, for sure. He's not going to create those problems once again for himself. Devon is all about the mental games before the matches, but they don't work against Eastern Europeans. It just makes them. It did work against Hermes. Is Italy in Eastern Europe? I'm not so familiar where Italy is. What is the line athlete should not cross in trash talk? I I don't see any line like that. I don't think there should be. Yeah, maybe there should be a line, but I think you can cross all the lines that you can yourself tolerate, and that's how people operate. Like if something don't doesn't bother me, most likely I'm going to try that on that other person. If there is something that I know, yeah, family, as you mentioned, if somebody mentions my family and I'm going to feel hurt, then I will not bring family into the matter. And if I am doing that, if I'm starting that, then it probably shouldn't affect me. So I don't think there are any lines, so to speak. The lines for you are the lines that you cannot tolerate yourself. Those are the only lines. Like if someone says something on your dead mother, yeah, I personally cannot relate to that, but I can understand what you're saying. Pradeep looks like Bollywood star from the 80s. Yep. So 50% people think that that match is going to happen at King of the Table. That's interesting. That is interesting. Devon versus Ongarbaev, I'm not going to ask that question even at 105 kilos. I think most of you will agree with me that Devon is going to win that match. Kind of easy. Kind of easy. 142 people voted and 50-50. That's interesting. 71-71. Babkin was talking about having a respectful match between Denis and Devon, which seems not very interesting and intimidating. I agree. I agree. Babkan should not decide all by himself what he wants from that match. And what kind of promoter promotes his own brand, his own YouTube channel with the help of athletes? Like if you're their manager, you should help them, you should teach them how to build their own social media platforms. Where is Denis Cyplenkov's YouTube channel? Where is Artyom Morozov's YouTube channel? Why are all of those videos going on Babkan's own YouTube channel? Okay, if that is his way of getting paid, because if he's doing all of the management, if he's fixing the matches, he may be taking a cut from that match fees as well. Let's say if Denis Cyplenkov is getting maybe $40,000 from Engin, or maybe $35,000 from Engin, then maybe Babkan takes five. I'm just guessing. I'm just guessing. In that case, that's a separate payment. But if he's not taking anything from the revenue and this is his plan that he's going to generate his own revenue from the YouTube channel, then it makes sense. Okay, he also should get some money and he's getting it from the YouTube channel. But you seem to have changed. No, brother, I was never against trash talk. Somehow people try to remind me that I was against when Devon called Levan a pussy. I was against it. I mentioned cultural differences. I never said that he shouldn't have said that. Never said that. You're not going to find that. I don't think so. Maybe I've forgotten, but I don't think I said anything like that. I just mentioned why Levan may not have liked that. It doesn't mean that I said that what Devon did is wrong. I I personally wouldn't mind anything like that. Babkan is a middleman. Yeah, you can kind of say that. What is his history in the sport? Was he a puller? No, he was not an arm wrestler. That is interesting. The way he speaks with a level of confidence and kind of a heavy ego, like he must have done some shit in his life. Babkan's full name? Nope. Nope, I don't know that. Yes, this Babkan guy seems like a problem. I'm not sure if there has been any arm wrestler or any translator in the history of any sport who managed to be hated that much just with doing some translations. Babkan has his own separate Hate club. Like people have fan clubs. Babkan has his own hate club just by doing some translation. Who will win in your opinion? Dennis or Devon? I think Devon. Dennis or Devon or Ongarbaev? I think Devon once again. Knox $40,000. I was just guessing, but Dennis must be getting at least 30. At least 30. He's really popular. And Devon is getting over 50 for sure. For sure. Babkan's assassins are on their way, Pradeep. Yeah. The man talks like, let's not bring some private conversations. But Devon hates Babkan, you can tell. Babkan destroyed True Power channel. Yeah, we're not seeing anything. Now I get it. Now I get it. Denis Cyplenkov is my athlete. You should ask me. He's not going to give any interviews. He cannot be on your channel. I can see all of that, and I think that there's a good possibility that it is true, if unless they are kind of friends together. Does anyone know who was the owner of the True Power YouTube channel? Because since the day Babkan associated himself, let's not make any false assumptions here, just to kind of paint Babkan in the bad light. True Power YouTube channel. True Power. We have Vovoda on the channel 1 month ago. So Vovoda is also with Babkan. So Morozov we have 2 months ago. Morozov is also with Babkan. So it may not be as strict as we could have thought. Then we have Siplenkov and Dadikyan 3 months ago. Denis Siplenkov 3 months ago, 4 months ago. Yeah, it could be something like that where Babkan doesn't allow him to get enough footage on his own channel, or it could be that the True Power guy is not having some opportunities to film with these legends. If Dennis again reaches his prime or near to his prime, then who will win, Dennis or Levan? In a super match format, mm, I will still have Levan, because the way Dennis grips with his thick hand, it is impossible for Dennis to grip high. You can always see Dennis is kind of, he's always forced to take a dad move grip against all of his opponents. I don't know why he never fights for the high ground. He's always gripping low like that, and even after the start, his hand slides somewhere down here. So he's holding his opponents like that. That's the kind of setup that you'll see Dennis having in all of his matches. And from this position, beating Levan, it's almost impossible. How is he even going to King's move from this position? Really difficult. I think stylistic bad matchup, and the same thing is going to happen against Devon Larratt as well. Bro thinks he's Dennis's dad. Dennis is Babkan's soldier. Since when did Pradeep become a Bollywood star? Since today. Do you think Vovoda is overrated? He does not. I think Vovoda is underrated. When he lost to Tim Bresnan, yes, that was a heartbreaking defeat for him. Since then, I think he's kind of underrated. He may be stronger than when he pulled Tim Bresnan. I don't see him training as hard as he's doing right now. I think he may be better. Tim was a beast that time. Yeah, at that time he was really strong. Even after that he was beating Rustam Babayev, who is no joke. I'm going to remind you again that you should be zoomed in more. Okay? Okay, is that so? Let's try. The difference between Denis' last match versus Denis now. Denis Siplenkov's last match was Devon Larratt, and his next match is also Devon Larratt. Surprising. So difference, I don't know what's the difference. Denis is weaker, maybe weaker. His pronation may be better, but overall strength he may be lacking because he's almost 20 kilos lighter. Is Vovoda actually clean right now, as you mentioned in a video? That's what he said. That's what he said. So maybe yes. What is current status of John Brazink? Current status, he's in trouble. He's in big trouble. Current status Trouble at King of the Table 8. People think Vovoda's prime could be Levan, could beat Levan, which is overrating. Yeah, that's for sure. Zoomed in is better. Okay, Daniel, thank you, sir. Devon is 8 years older. This live show lift. What lift? Devon is 8 years older than Dennis. Yeah, or not eight, maybe 6 or 7. Pradeep Sandris hates me because I commented about Bacha on his related video. He was being really aggressive. I'm waiting for the next Pradeep hate video from Sandris. Like the stream, guys. Sylvester's tell on. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Only 42 likes? That's disappointing, man. Over 155 people watching. That's really, this number is not cool. How does Dennis' hand feels much more uncomfortable than Levan hand, even though Levan has bigger? Not sure. Dennis has really thick thumb. Maybe that's why. Can Dennis cupping stop? Dennis does not have any cupping. His cupping is like, you can say, containment. His wrist is difficult to bend backwards, but Dennis cannot do this. Like, you will never see Dennis doing this. Maybe he had some cupping. Not maybe, he did have some cupping when he was young, but right now his wrist stays flat at best. He does not have cupping. In the practice pulls, he starts like that. That's why you do see a little bit cup in his hand, but his hand is so big, and I think he's kind of lost his cupping. And cupping is not something that can beat the king's move in itself, but it is a good defense for you to try other options. Like if you don't have any cupping from this position, it will be difficult for you to do anything against king's move. Pradeep taking GH. How do you know that? How these secrets are coming out? Pradeep's hand looks surprisingly big. Is he next live on? I haven't really looked at your subscribers. I have been subbed since 19K. You have grown so much. We're almost at 34,000 subscribers. The growth, I'll say, it has not been fast. If I uploaded shorts, I think I would have already been at around 50K. But shorts, man, they kind of ruin the channel. First of all, they don't give enough money, and not enough money. They don't give any money at all. And second of all, people who join from watching shorts, they don't really watch anything else. So that's a bad thing as well. I don't really like. If you subscribe, you should watch. 33977 subscribers we have. Let's see if anyone has not subscribed yet. Let me see if can we increase 3 subscribers right now. Mate, are you sure that Dennis is in top 5 right now? Top 5, yeah, it may be possible. It may be possible, especially right now when Morozov is out of the top 5. I think it's possible. Hermes Gasparini, Devon Larratt. Let's include Levan as well. Let's include Gennady as well. Jerry versus Denis. I'm not sure. Yeah, he can be somewhere around that for sure. Top seven for sure. I think at best top 5. Pradeep is gaining weight. Are you preparing for Levan? Yes, yes, but I'm not gaining weight. Lifetime revenue reveal, maybe in a separate video, or maybe when I start paying taxes. If you crack Denis Cyplenkov's hand, maybe you can press him. Yeah. Why doesn't Zaur spar against Dennis again? Once again, not sure. This chat is super. J.A. Cobbin is saying lifetime revenue reveal. Dennis lost his wrist against John Brzezinski. His cupping is most likely top 8 to top 10. He didn't really lose his wrist. It went like this. And then when he stood up, it was like straight once again. Devon is born in 75, Denis in 83. Okay. I think Vitali and Jerry will pull at East versus West 10. That can be a good match. Good match. 535, 388, 288, 283, $88. What's that? Pradeep, where's the COC 2.5 at? It must be somewhere. It must be somewhere. I haven't tried it yet. Based on what, Pradeep? I think it's hard to say considering so few matches from Dennis. Just curious. Yeah, based on nothing. Based on nothing. He has not had super matches, so you can say Clark's 93 or the COC 3. Aryan Kandari versus Shiv Kaushik, East versus West 10. Nakul Bansal. So thanks, guys. It's about 40 minutes. Thank you for joining, and please do hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Please hit the like button. That is an easy task. Did anyone subscribe? Yes, couple of guys subscribed. 33979 we have right now. Thank you, guys, and I will see you again. Bye.